Hi guys, so I wanted to just talk about something that I'd really like your opinion on. I don't know if you can see the rings under my eyes. It's been a long day and I think I was out in the sun a bit too long, but I was at this GradIreland today. I'll just show you the flyer. If anyone's wondering in Ireland now what it is, it's basically just um, a fair where you meet up with different employers, or mostly what it was universities. And I have to say, there was only really like Abbott, who are a pharmaceutical company based in Kilkenny. They also have other offices, but that would be where they are most locally to me. They have other offices around Ireland, but the one in Kilkenny was the one I was trying to get in with because I'm in Wexford, so it's not it's the southeast. Yeah, I mean it's not far away, but Waterford would be part of the southeast coast. But yeah, I went in and I made a video about that, just talking about trying to go, "Oh, yes, I'm so excited. I love the job, and I really love to work in this area and that area. I love this sector," and you're trying to be real bubbly and excited, and you're kind of like, "Yeah, but am I really?" you know. But that's another video that I made while I was in the beautiful Aviva Stadium for the game. We won 33-0 against Gerrards from Bray, which are a private school, and yeah, it was a really good win for our boys. So I'm very proud of them, but. It's just something like I wanted to get your opinions on, guys, and you can let me know in the comments down below. Um, it's something strange that happened to me there, right? So I ran into sorry, I ran into a fella who used to pick on my brother, all right, and I had mixed feelings. Okay, so just to give you a backstory into it, this fella and my brother used to play football together in primary school. I knew his sister. I was friends with her. Not great friends, but we used to hang out a little bit. I was pally with her and we got on well. Um, and her mum did a communion meeting or confirmation meeting. Sorry, so when you're making your communion and your confirmation, usually you gather around and you have someone talking to you. But normally for communion it's a teacher, whereas for confirmation what we had was somebody come in and kind of act like a sponsor. Not so much a sponsor because you have your own sponsor of course for your confirmation, but they basically guide you through the process, and they kind of go and tell you what it means to have your confirmation, how important it is for you, and what it means spiritually as well. I can't even really describe it better than that, but they just guide you through the whole thing and they say this is a big day in your life. It's a really big moment, and it'll be a very proud moment as well when you make your confirmation. And her mum was a really nice person. Um, sorry, your man's mum, but I was talking about his sister there. But their mum was a lovely person, and my mum would always say hello to her in the shop. I'd always say hello to the kid's sister. Um, and he and my brother played football together and had a mutual friend group. So I just thought they were bosom buddies, they were best of mates. They played football, they went to secondary school, and just kind of carried on the friendship from there. But lads will always pass slagging off. Do you know what I mean? They'll say it's slagging, and we're only slagging. We're only messing. It's things that I fucking hate to hear. And it happened to me quite a bit because people could say I was naive, and they obviously used it against me. But my brother, I thought he's quiet, he's shy, but whatever, he'll be fine. And he started saying that this was getting out of hand and there were a bunch of lads joining in, but this fellow was the main perpetrator of it. And it was kind of like, well, is he just slagging and is it getting out of hand? Or he's like, I've asked him to stop, but he won't. And I did the worst thing I could have done, which was ask my dad for advice. He just said he needs to grow a thicker skin, and I thought that was the right thing to do at the time, was to tell him, you just need to grow a thicker skin. He didn't tell me the full story though, which is why I didn't know exactly what was going on, but I didn't realise how often it was, how daily it was, how my brother wouldn't go into school a lot of times because it just got so much that he withdrew. I just thought he was being lazy. Eventually teachers got involved and the lad was made give an apology, but I remember going up to him and just kind of squaring up to him, and my brother said, "Just leave it, Dan. I don't want you getting involved." And he gave out to me. And he says, "Don't you fucking get involved, or it'll be worse for me. Don't be selfish, basically." And I was like, "All right, if you don't want me getting involved, I won't." And like he begged me not to, right? Um, so I was like, "All right, fair enough." And I didn't know the extent of it. Um, I come to find that out later. So my brother had a lot of mental health issues, just like I did. I was just kind of like, well, I got over them, and I didn't have anybody, whereas I was there for him. Like, I hadn't been when I was younger, but I was like, I'm here now. And I can be a harsh prick at times, don't get me wrong, and I certainly was. I was naive though, and I was stupid, so I gave a lot of very bad advice, and I got some very bad advice from my dad as well. Um, so, I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't in a position to give any good advice, and I think the advice I would have given and did give probably did more harm than good looking back now. But it's easy to look back at things in hindsight and think, oh, I wish I could have done that and I should have done that. He didn't want me to, and he begged me not to, but I couldn't get that out of my head, the guilt, because my brother was literally crying on the floor before, and I found him in a heap, and now, you know, I see him in his room, bawling his eyes out, being put on antipsychotics, and really strong medication, antidepressants, and he told me before he was on the ground crying, holding a knife to his wrists, and I'm there thinking to myself, fuck me, like, how did it get this bad? And then you're kind of thinking, I'm supposed to be the nut job of the family. Um, him as well, and he said the same thing. He was like, he felt like he had to be the good boy because I had so many problems growing up, and that can't have been easy on him, because I had a lot of fucking problems. And I was kind of like, if you want me to do something, just tell me and I'll fucking do it. And he says, I don't want you to do anything. Leave the situation. Don't fucking do anything. You'll make it 10 times worse. And I kind of felt undermined, if I'm being honest, because people often say to me, and they have said it, you'll do something wrong or you never handle anything correctly. And I'm like, maybe, yeah, sometimes, but I hate being undermined or told that, everything I do was wrong. Um, I kind of felt like, all right, but this I have to respect his wishes here, so that's what I did. And then years later, it's still affecting us, and I didn't know the extent. And then he told me they used to take stuff out of my bag. I was like, well, you should have fucking stood up for yourself. I got annoyed with him. Do you ever get that with a family member? You get pissed off with them, and you're like, you can't just let people take stuff out of your fucking bag and start throwing stuff around. My mum was kind of moaning and being, the musha musha type, you know, oh, that's terrible. And I was there kind of going, don't fucking let them. Like, at a certain point when I was in school, and like, I'm different, I have to accept that. But I remember before it got to a point where I'd be slagged so much every day that I just learned to put my head down and go, oh, this shit again. And I just ignored it. I start not going in some days, but I went in enough to pass and get the fuck out, and I had to deal with a lot of morons. But my brother's not like me, and I have to accept him the way he is, and he just didn't fight back. And in fairness to him, because he's a big, strong lad, he's always been told his whole life, you're not allowed. But I kind of like I have as well, and I think he probably saw how much trouble I got in and thought, I'll get in that much trouble as well if I do anything. It's not like I was an aggressive kid, but there was a reason for it, and there often is. Lads kept giving me shit all the time, and I kept basing everything off what I had thought. It was like, you're gonna fucking hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. Like, sometimes even if someone would throw something and it would hit me, I'd be kind of like, alright, I can leave that go. But if someone's there threatening me, I'm gonna fucking hit them. You've got to, or else what else are you gonna do? And if they try and steal your stuff, you're just gonna let them steal it. You can't fucking do that. I'm all for, being decent to everybody, but you can't be taken for a fucking ride. But anyway, that's what happened with him, and stuff was taken. He was pinched, in his excessive skin, how do you want to call it? Like, because he was quite overweight. There's no two ways about it. We both were, and both are, but he was very overweight in school, and it was made very obvious to him. And he did, in fairness, he did a lot. I got him training with me, and we ran an awful lot, but he always still, and that's the thing, when you're picked on enough and people say it and reinforce it enough, you believe you are this fat piece of shit, and I certainly understand that feeling. Um, but I made the mistake of thinking that I could empathise with everything he was going through, which I couldn't. Like, family members of ours used to bully him over being overweight on my dad's side, because my mum's they're more big boned, shall we say, which is where we get it. But I certainly could relate to a degree, but not fully, because he was getting it even worse. But I remember being made clear that I was overweight, and that was wrong. That inherently made me a bad person because I had a bigger fucking waistline than everybody else. I fucking did more than anybody else, let me tell you, but that doesn't matter. I hadn't seen my granddad in over a year, and I put on a lot of weight from work. And rather than going, oh Jesus, how are you? I haven't seen you in ages, the first thing he said to me was, Jesus, that sun belly on you, look at the state of you. And I was like, oh, nice to see you as well. Fucking prick. Um, didn't call him a prick, but I was like, Jesus, yeah, nice to see you too. Wish I'd called him fucking prick. He is a fucking prick, but that was just getting hammered into my brother, and then like you kind of cut family members some slack and think, oh yeah, they're saying it out of concern. They shouldn't have fucking said it. They were very harsh the way they were, and then I'm not gonna say that I'm innocent. Hold my hands up. I fucking did it, and I still continue to do it because I think it's funny or whatever, or make a joke about it, but it's still not right, and I need to fucking cut it out. But then I see one of the lads who really used to pick on him as well, real mouthy, cocky little fucker. Like I squared up to him before, and he was a little chicken shit, but he was the type that would get someone to kill themselves because he'd just keep chipping away and he'd start getting other people to join in. And I kind of was amazed. I was like, you were getting bullied by him, really? He's a little rat, like a little pipsqueak of a yoke. But I think my response to that really made my brother feel like, oh, I'm such a little bitch because I allowed this to happen with these people. But, I don't know what was going on in his head at the time. How could I, And he certainly wasn't telling me everything. But this little fucker is a different lad now. But he was more the mouthy side and would encourage the other fella who I met today. And I did meet him today. But he would encourage this lad to, do everything to impress him, and to keep entertaining him essentially. And, well, I kind of did the same thing before myself. Just to get attention, because, I wanted to be with the cool kids. But you start doing Movember, and there was a lad that I played rugby with, and so did my brother Sam, and we both liked him, lovely fella, and there was another lad as well. That's what always baffles me, how lads who are lovely, really genuine fellas can end up mates with these guys. Do you ever wonder that? And I'm kind of like, how the fuck, you're a lovely young fella, and you've got everything going for you, really good rugby player, this lad was, and also seemed to be doing well, seemed to be a nice guy, seemed to, get on well with everybody, really good player, we got on well in the team. And I told him what had been going on, and he was shocked to hear it, and he apologised and said, I'm going to say something to them, that's not fucking on. I was like, fair play to you, like, I know you weren't the one doing it, but one of these lads put up a post about Movember, and turns out he'd been giving a poor young girl an awful time, and she had, puncture wounds on her arms and wrists, and she'd obviously self-harmed, and he texted her saying, like, how can you even do this to somebody? But he was like, oh, you should have followed through, you couldn't even succeed at that. And it's like, how the fuck could you say something like that to somebody else? Fucking disgusting to this poor young girl. But then you're posting about Movember, growing a little tash, as if that undoes everything bad you've ever said. So I couldn't let it go anymore, and I said, you're full of shit, you're a little prick. I know what you said to my brother now, he told me. You and your little rat mates, and if I ever see you, I'll have fucking words with you, trust me. And of course he didn't say anything back, he just blocked me and pretended I didn't exist. Little fucking rat that he is. I had really hard feelings of aggression now, because I knew this wasn't just a bit of slagging, this was, intense fucking bullying, and it was, it really was. I know for us lads it's hard for us to admit when we were bullied, but I mean, that's what it fucking was. And like, I'd seen this fella after school and I didn't even know what was going on. I thought it was just a bit of banter and slagging. And he was always licking my arse whenever we were out of school as well. Oh, how are you getting on and all this stuff, and chatting to me. And I was kind of like, alright, yeah. And my brother seemed to accept these guys, so I was like, let bygones be bygones, I guess. And a few of my brother's mates who he still hangs out with today were mates with these guys and hung around with them, so I thought, oh, well, maybe they patched things up, but no, I had to say something after hearing that. Yeah, it was something I felt like I had to do. But then going back to today, and being at Grad Ireland, it's a very official thing. You're trying to sell yourself, and you want to look like you're, yeah, ready for work, and I want to go back and do another course and all this bollocks, faking everything, fake it till you make it, as they say. When in reality, you're feeling good if you get up out of bed and manage to go for a walk. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing that really annoys me. But I remember when I was back in volunteer and I was doing security for concerts, and I thought I saw this fella, the lad that my new sister and his mum. Thought I saw him pulling into the estate in a car, and then I was sure it was him. I was doing security. I was like, oh, let it roar them, or I was like, no, no, then I'm not going to get my tickets for the concert and all this stuff. My brother told me to leave it. Um, I can't be starting a row in the middle of the street with this fella. And I let that kind of get in the way. But today I saw him and my fucking blood was boiling. I locked eyes with him. I was like, I see him now. I know what's after happening. You know, and you can say let bygones be bygones. I didn't know what was going on, and it's a big official event. Fuck it. I saw him. I was like, no, I'm fucking going over to him. So I went over to him and he was chatting to two of his mates. And here's how polite I am. Right, I was gonna literally wait for him to finish talking to his mates. But then, like, I'd been talking to some official people and trying to big myself up and say, yeah, any jobs going here, and trying to look really fancy. And I was like, fuck this. I went over and I barged in and was like, do you fucking remember me? Do you know what you fucking did to my brother? And I was like, do you remember what you did? And he was like, oh, it's all sorted now. Like, we talked about it. I was like, you didn't fucking talk to me about it. Do you realise how much fucking damage you've done to him? And then I could see those two fuckers that he was talking to kind of just laughing awkwardly and then walking off. I was like, yeah, off you fuck. We're having an argument here. And now, yeah, you can say time and the place. I don't give a shit. I was fucking mental. I am fucking mental. But I was like, you prick. Like, I'm going to have words with you now. You're, because the thing is, see him going to this, planning his future, and I think, how much have you fucking damaged my brother's future? Do you even fuck? And I said this to him, was like, you're coming here, like, swanning around, happy as Larry, and planning your future. Do you realise you almost took my brother's future away from him? Like, I found him in the fucking kitchen, crying his eyes out, and he had his fucking a knife to his wrist and all. That's down to you. Don't think you're fucking innocent from that. And he was like, yeah, but we talked, and I was like, oh, yeah, you just said the right things, didn't you? To lie to teachers or whatever. It was like, are you even fucking sorry for what you did? And he was like, look, I know what I did was terrible. Like, it was very bad. I'm genuinely very, very sorry about it. And I said to him, yeah, do you know, like, I was friends with your sister, and, like, I always used to speak to your mum. My mum used to talk to your mum. And you and Sam were mates. What the fuck happened? Why the fuck would you do something like that to him? And we shook hands and was like, look, I am sorry, and can I have his number? And he might send him a message. And I was like, alright, look, I'm sorry if I look like a fucking head case, but you understand why I'm so angry. Like, I saw my brother in a fucking awful state. Like, I was terrified he was going to kill himself. You have to understand, like, what you did was unacceptable. He was like, I agree with you 100%. So I was like, alright, fair enough. I kind of thought, fuck the occasion. I'm gonna say something. I'm not letting this lie. I'm not doing security, so I don't have to be at a post immediately. Do you know what I mean? I can do whatever the fuck I want. And to be honest with you, a lot of it was quite pointless. But I was like, no, I'm saying something. I can't let this fucking lie. Um, Maybe for selfish reasons, yeah. But it was kind of like, fuck you. And what you did was unacceptable. I don't give a shit. There's no statute of limitations on what you did. You've done some fucking everlasting damage here. And I was like, he begged me not to say anything, but I'm fucking saying something to you. I've got you on my own now, all to myself. He's like, I'm fucking saying something. You little prick, you can't get away with that. Now, he did seem genuinely sorry, and I did believe him. Do I forgive him? I guess it's not up to me to forgive him, it's up to my brother, who said he didn't, and I completely get why he didn't. And I hope he doesn't fucking find out, because if he does, he'll probably be annoyed with me, but he got annoyed with me before for sending that message to the other lad, because he called me selfish and said, oh, you're just thinking of yourself because you can't live with the fact that you wanted to do something I told you not to. I said, how can you call me selfish? Maybe a little, I'm willing to accept that, but I felt like a piece of shit. didn't stand up for my little brother, you know, like that's how I felt genuinely, and like he could fucking put me over his lap and beat the shit out of me. Like he's a big, strong young fella, but I'm still his older brother and I'm supposed to look after him, and I did a piss poor job of that when we were younger, so I guess I feel like I have to make up for lost time in a lot of ways, and I'm a dickhead to him as well, as brothers are, am I right? But I do care, and I hate seeing him this way, you know, I really do, and seeing that fella planning his future is like, well, you've ruined my brothers. You know, you've done significant fucking damage to his self-esteem, and I hope you fucking know that. And I think he does now because I put the fear of fucking God into him. He was shitting himself like this back in, which I kind of took pride in. I just bumped into him and was like, hey, you. Yeah, it probably looked like a fucking head case in their fancy little convention, but fuck them, you know, all this, you know, like fancy shit and all that stuff, like planning your future, holding a fucking cup of coffee and whatever, going about your life, like everybody's hunky dory all the fucking time, does my head in, because there's so much lip service and all this crap and all the stress that really goes on with college courses. I know, yeah, happiest times of your life, but certainly enough people who've tried to ruin that for me and my brother, put it that fucking way. Um, yeah, there are probably elements of selfishness with this, you know. I had these overwhelming fucking feelings that I had to do something, but I felt like I left it live for too long, and I saw my opportunity. I was like, no, I'm not letting this slide. This fucker needs to hear what I have to say, and I'm gonna fucking say it. And he's gonna fucking acknowledge what he did was wrong, and he's gonna apologise to me as well as my brother. Like, all this etiquette and bull. Nah, fuck that. I'm sick listening to all that shit. You know, oh, don't make a scene. I will fucking make a scene. The time for not making a scene is fucking done, as far as I'm concerned. Love to hear your thoughts, guys. Like, I mean, I've been a dickhead and I've been a cunt to some people. I really have, but this is fucking unbelievable. I've at least had the fucking decency to go out and fucking text people, get in touch with them and go, the way I treated you was fucking wrong, mate, and I'm really sorry about it. Some decent fucking empathy. And I was wrong. You know, hand on fucking heart, it was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. I was an absolute little prick to do it. But what I did was right. I 100% believe what I did was right, and I'm not going to apologise for it. You know, I'm half tempted to fucking knock his lights out, but if he started like going, oh, I don't care and all that, I'm not even being funny. I think I'd be up on charges because it would have really done my head in. At least there was acknowledgement there, and yeah, let sleeping dogs lie, but I feel like everybody else let him down as well, and I let him down, my brother. I'm not immune from that, so at least I did something, but it's long overdue, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of cunts out there who don't apologise for being cunts and just think they can carry on their life as normal, don't they? And I'm like, no, you've done everlasting damage, you know? And if some poor fucker goes off and kills themselves because of what you did, that's on you. You're fucking guilty. You're a murderer. And even if you don't get charged with it, fucking shame on you, you know? Um, but we allow people off the hook, don't we? We let things pass. You have to be the bigger man, as they say. Well, fuck that. I'm not being the bigger man. Fuck that shit. No, no. Um, I don't give a fuck what the occasion was. It's like I'm saying something to you now, you little prick. After what you fucking did. I bite my tongue with a lot of things, guys. Like I really do. This is something I couldn't. And I had to say something. I had to speak out because that was just unbelievable. I didn't have the half of it, and I felt overwhelmed with guilt. Over fucking whelmed with guilt about why didn't I say something? Why didn't I do something? And I should have done. Now, my brother said to me, if I told you the truth, would you not have kicked his head in? And I probably would have done, yeah. He was like, you would have been expelled. You were already on a very fucking, you were already on very thin ice to begin with. So he was even thinking of me then. God love him, you know. I was always in fucking trouble. My brother wasn't, you know. He withdrew. I exploded and imploded as well. Let me tell you. But guys, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on bullies? What are your thoughts on what the right thing to do is. Do you think you should respect people's wishes if they tell you not to say anything, or do you think it's up to you to do something? What are your thoughts? Let me get them. I'd love to hear what you have to say on this. And that'll do it for this one, guys. Got Wexford Local Development tomorrow. We're going to the Wexford Further Education Centre. So I mean, I'm putting things in place. I've got been to this, for all the good that it'll do. But at least I've gone. At least I'm going to things and staying active on it. I got to go to the game. We won. You up Outlands. Well done, boys. It was a good little. I was there thinking, oh, I don't want the embarrassment of going back in there now. It was like I had my little rage and then off it went. But no, we shouldn't let people get away with stuff. I don't believe that. I think fuck that shit. You should feel fucking guilty if you've done something, and if you don't, well then we'll fucking punish you for it. You know what I mean? We're gonna make you feel fucking sorry for it anyway, even if you didn't to begin with. Consequences have to apply to people. You are not immune from consequences. If people think they are, they need to be shown otherwise. But anyway, guys, I will probably have to head to bed soon, get some rest, get up for my Wexford Local Development, and then heading off to Wexford Further Education. Then have a match afterwards with the Outland Seniors. So fingers crossed and touch wood for that. Looking forward to it. And then I'm heading out with the coaches for a bit of din-dins, and they've paid for a few beverages for us, so that should be fun. Yeah, so looking forward to that. And then the Ireland game, the crunch. I'm going to do a review on my little whiteboard here. A preview, should I say, on who I think will win and by how many. So it's kind of late now, so I want to put more thought into it tomorrow when I get back. But this is something that was just weighing on my mind. I saw your man. I was like, you see somebody else who's being a little cunt to somebody, especially a family member of yours, and their life working out and them happy as Larry, and I wanted him to fucking know just how much damage he's done to my poor brother, and my mum as a result, who was worried sick about him. And I don't want to bring me into it, and I'm not even going to do that. It's not about me. I was worried sick, but my brother and my mum went through a lot of that, and felt like I had a duty of care to just do something. So I'll wrap this up because I better get off to bed soon and wind down, guys. Don't want to be all head up. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. This is something I'd really love to hear people's thoughts on. So pop the comments down, like and subscribe and all that jazz. Slán go fóill.